What's going on, everyone? Another episode here. We got a 07 328i in. This was at another shop getting some work done. Apparently the customer said they had the car way too long. Wasn't satisfied with the work they were doing, so we brought it down. We're gonna bust this thing out this weekend. So the last person started, did some body work, it looks like. So we're gonna just block this thing out with some 400 wet and kind of see exactly where we're at on it with a good guide coat. And then we're gonna shoot this thing blue, throw a nice clear on it, and call it a day. So let's dive into this behemoth. No kidding. Check that out, y'all. That's just to remove the headlights. Fun stuff there. And then the tail light's just 3 bolts. So Franklin's got 20 bolts and I got 3 bolts. There it is, tail lights out. So it's got all these tabs on like that metal bracket. Half of them were already broke before we even got started on it. We'll go ahead and fix those with some plastic weld. Super brittle. So we'll fix up those. Let's keep trucking. All of this removal, gotta remove this one, the whole door column, the lower column, both front, the sun visor, all the handles, center light, front lights got to come out, this rear whole assembly, all to get this fin out. What a nightmare. As it sits like right in this area on the headliner, and there's just no way to get into it without actually dropping 3/4 of the headliner all the way down out of the car. Without creasing and bending and things of that nature. And we want to get that antenna pulled, otherwise we'll have lifting issues around it because there's a rubber seal and it just can't get it scuffed, it won't stick. So we're cruising along, we got all the tail lights, front bumper, headlights, all the door seals are off, handles are all out. They were already out, but they're all out other than the driver, so we can still get in and out of it if we need to. This guy even just sanded up the headlights for him. How nice, huh? So yeah, badges are off. This one has a stripped bolt on the bottom side. So we can't remove that one out without replacing that piece. So we're just gonna lift tape around it and that should be all right. Other than that, we're about ready to sand this thing and shoot some sealer on it. All right, y'all, if you've been watching and laughing at us the whole time, dropping the headliner to pull this antenna, I wish someone would have told us. Look how easy it is. Literally that easy. So for all y'all wondering, you do not drop the headliner on a BMW 325 or 328 or any of those to get the shark fin off. You simply undo the 3M tape on the back side. I think from the factory it has little tabs that kind of hold it in, so just kind of wiggle it. This will just pop off, and then it is one, probably 25, T25. The antenna pops out under your connections. You're done. There you go. There's your little tip on dropping headliners to pull antennas on your BMW. Do not do it. Waste of time. Anyway, so now we're gonna put all this headliner back together because look how far we got. Literally, it's all hung down over here. All the front's out. We pulled the seal around the sunroof, everything. Because there's a little white tab. So if you look up underneath here, there's a little white tab in there and it looks like it goes forward and then the fin comes off. Nah, somebody on YouTube already told us the right way to do it. So thanks, guys. Let's get into painting this. right, y'all, so we're using some 3M lift tape here. And you just put it down in your seal, pull it back on, and it creates a gap. So I'll show you the gap after we're done. So that's what lift taping does, just creates a gap all the way around that seal there. So we can actually shoot some paint down in that. You can see there, we'll actually be able to get paint on that edge. And we're gonna do the same with the windshield. So if you see the windshield's butted right up against the paint there, where if we lift tape it, it'll create an edge like that. So the only reason I had to do it this way is because they primed these edges. If those edges weren't primed, I wouldn't have to do anything on the hood as far as the sides. I would have been able to close it, put some foam tape in there, call it a day. But due to them having these ones and hitting all of this, I'm gonna paint it. So I'm just gonna leave the hood open. I'll close it enough to base it, then I'll open it, shoot this edge, shoot that. You guys will see in the booth. And then this side I'll get taped up once I get it in. Other than that, the car is good, other than tires, and we'll do those in the booth as well. Ready for some sealer, so let's get you sealing. All right, so I got foam tape all around the edges there. We foam tape these ones. As you can see, it makes that seal there, so paint doesn't get past that into the inside of the car. So I got this one foamed. I'm gonna put a little tape in the front and then finish bagging this thing up, and it will be ready. Cruising on this Benz. We got all the black taped up around the mirrors. Mirrors are good. Oh, I gotta pull that flipping handle. Nice. I gotta pull that handle, tape up these spots. It's all taped up, wheels are all taped up. Getting ready to wax to grease it now. This mirror's all good. And like I said, I gotta shoot this hood. That's why we bagged it this way. And actually the paper seemed to bag pretty well. Versus throwing plastic over it and taping out the windows, the sunroof, all the car basically with plastic. We just used paper this time and knocked it out. Hopefully we won't have a lot of overspray, like landing on it and then landing back in the paint. Plastic absorbs that stuff and kind of super flappy, where this is, I mean, a little bit of a flap, but not near like plastic would, especially here. I mean, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna wipe it down and paint it. Some base down. We got this nice beautiful blue here. It's close to factory but not quite. We discussed that with the customer. We're going to try something a little different on it and see how close we can get. But base time, let's see what happens. Alright y'all, we had to let this thing sit overnight. As y'all seen, I think while we were shooting, we had a terrible chemical reaction. So we got this car from another body shop. I mean, it showed up everywhere. It showed up on the mirrors, on the hood. I think everything but the roof. Yeah, no good. Anyways, that could be from a number of things. That could be from who knows what, silicones, waxes. There was all sorts of stuff in these door jambs. They were super nasty, goopy, so I don't know what that was. To be honest, too, could have been my tack cloth. It was a new tack cloth from my last job. I usually get like 2 jobs out of each tack cloth. I should probably just be using a new one every time, but anyways, it could have had a contaminant on it. Number of things. We blew out the booth. So I don't think it's anything in my booth per se. I shot a little spot on the bumper, and it didn't really seem to react at all. So I don't know if it was in my sealer, in the primer, if it was something on the car itself from the just sitting outside. Who knows what it is. So anyways, we're gonna sand the whole car, wash it really, really good, and try again. It's not the end of the world. We definitely caught it early enough, but yeah, that's what happens when you have a contamination. To save this one the way it was last night, impossible. You have to let it dry. You have to try it again. So you can see here, it went all the way down into my primer. So, or down into my sealer, probably down into the last people's primer. So yeah, let's get into it. Look at this mess we have created. All right, y'all, so we're just here now wet sanding. So we just kind of dry sanded everything to knock it down. This stuff was nasty, nasty. So we used some 400, knocked it all down. Now we are hitting it with some 600, and I think I'm just gonna seal this whole car. Go buy enough sealer, seal the whole thing, let it dry, basic clear. It shouldn't have any issues. So what I think my issue was overspray from my sealer. You can kind of see like in here, not very well, but all those little dots, that's all sealer. So it kind of just like dusted over onto these panels that I didn't paint or seal, excuse me. It got up here on those, and then when I based them, it just had a chemical reaction. So nothing we can do about it except for sand it out. Grab your trunks, grab your coolers, and come on down to the Blue Laguna. We're having a good old time in here. This thing's about washed, or about prepped. We're getting ready to wash it now. We've got a whole floor of blue. We got the good old deep blue sea down here. We're gonna go cast us a rod here in a little bit and see if we can't catch a big one down here in this deep Blue Laguna. Yeah, but this side we sanded it all, got it all looking good. Got basically all the blue off this thing. I was gonna leave some, but then we just kind of kept going, and it was just funky looking, and the more we took off, the more it needed to come off, so we took it all off. Let's wipe this thing down, get it ready to shoot. We're gonna start on the parts and see if they react at all. We hope not. We cleaned up, everything should be good there. Let's see if they do. Keep going, keep going. All the way up to that lip. Yep. Let's try to give that lid a good twist. Second pass was definitely a good idea. Looks really, really good. I'm really happy. Compared to how it was looking yesterday, I'm really happy with how this thing's going today. One cup ready. Franklin's making up a second, just so I can keep on cruising through this thing. Hopefully no dry edges, no dry spots. Solid basing. I think I'm gonna start down here. I'm gonna walk this whole side, get all up onto the roof, come and hit the hood, lift the hood, and or maybe I'll hit the hood first and then lift it. And then I'll come hit the rest of the car. We'll fill this one out. The Blue Laguna's waters are feeling all right, so we're just testing them out here. There y'all got it. 2 coats of G2. And this thing came out looking really well. So now we're gonna throw this thing back together and we will catch y'all when it's either complete or as we're throwing it together. Hope y'all have enjoyed so far. Hopefully everybody can learn something from us. Make sure to use clean tack cloths. Make sure to wipe them down really good. Just double check all your products that you're using. Double check the car that you're working on. Make sure to get it sanded real good. Make sure to maybe use a few different chemicals to make sure that it is clean. There's no chemicals on the vehicle, you know, gasoline, wax, beeswax, tree sap, whatever it may be. It could be on there. Make sure it's extra clean, and it will definitely come out looking pretty dang good. So, no runs in this one. We're super thankful for that. No dry edges. Let's get to putting it together. We're cruising on this one. So we've got tail lights in, all the lights in there, waiting for a bulb to come in. But this is what I want to talk about here. We had to put this seal back in the door. And in order to do that, you gotta take the mirror out. So to take the door off, it's just a bunch of bolts in the door that run inside that black piece there. It's held on by a wood trim. They all bolt in right here. Remove that, fight the door pins, get the door off, get it off of these tabs here, and then you can pull this back and do the 3 bolts, lift the mirror, put it on. So, well, a pain in the butt, the things we gotta go through to get these seals back on that we take off in order to paint it, but it's worth it. Right here's where those bolts go in. So, Franklin's got the front end about back together. Dang, looking pretty good, huh? So we're gonna keep trucking on the install of all the parts, door handles, liners, etc., etc. There it is. Thank you to Mr. King. Franklin. There it is, all finished up. Came out to be a real pretty blue. Overall, real nice. What do you think, Franklin?
Man, she looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
So as you guys know, there was all sorts of crazy back here. There is now no crazy. All gone. Looking good. So that's the BMW for you guys. I think this was like a 328i. Shout out to Franklin for helping me push through this one. We busted this thing out in the weekend. We got it in Friday midday and pushed it out today's Monday. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all in the next video.